Greetings internet, it is time for the 200th vlog Q&A, which is of course just an arbitrary excuse for me to get you guys to help me with some content. Because while this may be vlog project file number 200, because of various side projects and things, there are already 237 videos on this channel. And that's just this channel. If you include Dune Does DVD, Dune's Phone, Slayweb and NFI, the total is 444. And 444 is a nice interesting repeating number, but that makes this one 445, which becomes boring again. But anyway, you gave me some questions and I will now attempt to answer them. Spoo asks, got milk? In the middle of a lockdown and pandemic, I'm pretty sure my local supermarket is still restricting it to 2 pints per person. And to be honest, I'm not much of a milk drinker anyway. Under normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't generally have much in the fridge, unless I'm planning on doing some baking. That's about the only time I use any milk these days. And that tends to be soy rather than cow. Corolla T asks, what are your most and least favourite things of doing YouTube? I've been thinking about this one and I can't really come up with one specific thing. Of all the different various aspects of doing YouTube, sometimes things are good, sometimes are bad, and it's not that any item is always bad. Adding subtitles to videos is probably one of the most consistently annoying things, because it's one of those things that I feel like I should be doing, but knowing the amount of time it takes versus the amount of time it actually gets used, it's very imbalanced. But you know, if you've got a short video that's not got a lot of speech in it, it's not that annoying. So a time when you've got an easy set of subtitles might actually not be as bad as a time when you're having trouble coming up with an idea to actually make in the first place. So you know, what is the worst part kind of depends on the situation, although those two examples, subtitles and lack of ideas, are definitely competing for the bottom spot quite often. And what are the best? That also changes too. Probably the most consistent at the top for me is the one thing that social media is said to be bad for. I enjoy getting the likes and the comments. I like hearing that other people out there like the content I have made and hearing what they thought about it. That's not exactly why I make them in the first place, but hearing that other people than myself actually like these things definitely helps. Sometimes that'll get trumped if I get to do something fancy in the editing process, but too often these days I'm just chopping out silence and it's not the most exciting part of the process. Dioscory13 asks, you have read/seen many fantasy and sci-fi novels/films. If you had to live in one of these universes, which one would you pick and why? Now this is an interesting question, but as soon as you start to think about it, it brings up lots of caveats and conditions and how that would actually work. And it becomes such a big topic that I could probably make an entire video about it. And it just so happens that I realised after getting this question that this is actually also an upcoming topic on NFI. But I'm not going to leave you hanging completely. I think the answer for me is probably going to end up being Star Trek. But if you want to hear the full explanation as to why, then go subscribe to NFI or follow me on Twitter and you'll find that video in a couple of weeks' time. Vivian says, describe your perfect sandwich. Now, technically that's not a question, but I'll bite. Thing is, for me, I don't really have exactly one particular favourite type of sandwich. I like a wide variety of fillings in my sandwiches, but the important thing that has to be there is the ratio between bread and filling. The bread isn't the important part of the sandwich, that is just the delivery method for the filling. So I generally like my sandwiches thin on bread, thick on filling. And if I actually had to pick one particular type of sandwich, I'd probably go for something fairly simple like a cheese ploughman's, which is just salad, cheese and pickle. And that's all we've got. Some questions were answered and 200 vlogs have been completed. Here's to the next 200. Thank you very much for watching, especially the few of you that may possibly have seen all 200 of these videos. And I will see you again tomorrow.